Once upon a time, there was a man named Jony who lived in a small village nestled in the mountains. Jony was a man of great wisdom, and he was highly respected by the people of the village for his knowledge of Taoism. One day, a young man came to Jony seeking advice. The man was troubled because he was about to leave the village to pursue a new job in the city, and he was afraid of the changes that lay ahead. He asked Jony how he could cope with the uncertainties of life. Jony smiled and replied, "My dear friend, life is like a river. It flows naturally, and we must learn to embrace the changes that come our way. Just as the river adapts to the changing landscape, we too must learn to adapt to the changes in our lives." The young man was confused. "But how can we adapt to the changes in our lives?" he asked. Jony took the young man to the river that flowed through the village. He pointed to the water and said, "Look at the river. It flows without resistance, adapting to the rocks and obstacles in its path. It does not fight against the current, but rather it flows with it. Just as the river adapts to the changes in its environment, so must we adapt to the changes in our lives." The young man listened intently as Jony continued, "If we resist the changes that come our way, we will suffer. We will become stuck in the past, unable to move forward. But if we embrace change, we can learn and grow from our experiences. We can become like the river, flowing naturally with the current of life." The young man left Jony feeling inspired and hopeful. He realized that he had been resisting the changes in his life, but now he saw that he could embrace them and let life flow naturally. He went to the city and started his new job with a renewed sense of purpose and a willingness to adapt to the changes that lay ahead. Years later, the young man returned to the village and sought out Jony once again. He thanked him for the wisdom he had shared, and told him that he had become successful in his career and had found happiness in his life. Jony smiled and said, "My friend, you have learned the most important lesson in life. When we embrace change and let life flow naturally, we can achieve great things and find happiness along the way." From that day forward, the young man carried the wisdom of Jony with him wherever he went. He learned to adapt to the changes in his life, and he found that the journey was just as important as the destination. And whenever he faced a challenge, he remembered the river and the wisdom of Jony, and he let life flow naturally.